So I don't know about your family, but my family loves to eat breakfast foods. When my kids were small, they would have friends over, and it was always a really big deal because mom would put out this huge brunch because they would sleep in late and they'd have a good time the night before at the sleepover. And so they'd be starving by the time they woke up. And so I would put together waffles and fruit and bacon and sausage and all the things. Biscuits and gravy is something that I make that my family loves. And so that's something they used to look forward to. And I would take all the leftovers from this big, huge meal, and then we would make breakfast burritos to have during the week. Those were good times. And now then when we got older and the kids started getting married, we started doing bridal and baby showers. And I just love doing brunches for those too. So it's always been fun to, put together like a mini quiches and, the frozen fruit cups, the, tiny mini muffins, and you can put a beautiful fruit spread out, and it's so much fun, and there's so much creativity in it. So I'm excited that Melissa and Christy decided this month's theme would be Sunday Brunch. So I hope that you go check out the playlist and see all the great ideas that are out there, because there's so many wonderful ones. Today I'm going to be making a banana Amish friendship bread coffee cake. So come along and let's get busy in the kitchen and put this together, because I can't wait to give this a taste test. Oh, by the way, because I'm me, I won't be following the exact recipe. We're going to adapt it to what I have here on hand and the things that my family enjoys. I have worked really hard and I've brought back my blog. Did you know that I used to blog before I would vlog? That's right. Before I had YouTube, I had a blog. I have brought that back, and I'm hoping to start adding more content to it, like the recipe that we're going to be using today. You can hopefully find that in the description below. If not today, soon, along with the link to the original recipe I got inspiration from. I need 3 overripe bananas, and I just happen to have those today. Thus the reason why we chose this recipe. That, and I want to try something new and different. And when I came across this recipe, that is exactly what I thought of. I have never made a banana coffee cake. And I know I've been having so much fun with my Amish Friendship Starter that all the recipes have been wonderful. And if you're interested in learning more about Amish Friendship Starter, I have a playlist where every Friday for this month, friends and I are putting together all sorts of videos about Amish Friendship Starter and recipes. I also hope to have more recipes on my blog, in addition with my friend Renee has a playlist. Okay, so I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the mixer, and I'm going to use it to squish my bananas. Let it do all the work for you, right? Now that our bananas are nice and squishy, I'm going to go ahead and add in our cup of Amish Friendship Starter. This was just fed, so it should be a fairly happy little starter. Okay, we also need 1/4 of a cup of sour cream, which I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. That's probably about this much. We'll add just a little bit more. Sour cream, if you've never used sour cream in coffee cakes and muffins, it just does wonders for it. It really, really does. It just makes it so moist. It gives it a little bit of zing. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I love this stuff. We need 3 large eggs. These are duck eggs from right here in my backyard. I love baking with duck eggs. If you did not know that, I almost always bake with duck eggs if I have them available to me. I'm going to clean this up, and I'll be back and we'll work on the next ingredient. I got a little messy with those eggs. I had to clean that up. Sometimes when I'm trying to stare at the screen and then look at what I'm doing, I kind of make messes. I'm going to stir this up just a tad because I want those eggs to break up just a little bit. I have melted butter, and I just want to make sure it's not too hot. We're not wanting to cook our starter. We don't want to cook our eggs. So I had zapped that in the microwave because I forgot about it, so I didn't have it set out, but it did call for melted butter. And now we're just going to kind of mix this all up. I'm trying to clean off my spoon real quick. Okay. Lock that in place and just turn it on slow. I'm still getting it to splatter. I don't have my splatter gun on today. I don't even know what I did with the darn thing. It was one of the best gifts I could have received. A family member gave that to me one year, and I love it. So let's see if I can turn this. And you can see it's a nice yellowy, banana-y batter. So we'll stop that now that I have that all kind of creamed together. That's how I like to do it. I could have went ahead and put in the vanilla. We need to add a teaspoon or so of that in there. But give it a quick mix. I forgot that part. Okay, now we're going to start adding in our dry ingredients really slowly. We'll need 2 cups of flour. So I'll have that on. And real slow, like, I'm just going to kind of tap this in there a little at a time. I don't want to put it all at once. I don't want it flying in my face, and I don't want big lumps. And it's still going to kind of spill out, but if we just tap. 1. And 2. To this, I'm going to add a cup of sugar. Again, you don't need to pour it all at once, just nice and slow. And then we're going to need to add a little bit of leavening to this too. We're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. There's 1. And the same thing, I just tap it in slow because I want to make sure it gets fully incorporated. Nobody wants to take a big bite of that. And then just 1/2 teaspoon of the baking soda. So this is my trick to making delicious muffins, as I like to use both baking powder and baking soda. And then lastly, you need some salt. Use whatever kinds you want. Today I have just the regular table salt, but if you have kosher, pink Himalayan, any of those types, go for it. You need just a little salt. Okay, so we have a cake pan here. And it is well greased. One thing about the Amish starter is you have to grease things really well. Any kind of cake mix and stuff you're going to want to do like this anyway. And if you don't have an Amish starter, you could go to websites and you can see different substitutions. Some people have luck with buttermilk, and then that could be something that you could use instead of the starter, but you'll need to read about like how much and if you need to add any other ingredients to that. But doesn't this look like a beautiful batter? I am so excited about this. That is the thing about this Amish starter. It just makes the fluffiest desserts. Their cookies are amazing. I bet there's a banana cookie out there. Wait, we're talking breakfast here, friends. This is a breakfast recipe. And then I'm gonna set this aside. If I haven't told you already, the oven's at 350 degrees, preheated, ready to go. Okay, now I'm gonna make the streusel topping. What you wanna do is you're gonna get 1/4 of a cup brown sugar. I like to keep my brown sugar in the bag so that if I can tightly pack it with my hand and not get my hand dirty. And then I need 1/4 cup of just regular sugar. Now, my plan was that I would use sugar that I had put vanilla bean in, but evidently I am now out of that. And the recipe did call for vanilla bean paste, or vanilla bean to take out of the pod, but I just do not want to do that today. So we're just going to add a generous amount of vanilla in here because I have some amazing vanilla. But if you have a vanilla bean, split it and scrape it out and do it that way. We're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Let's see where we're at. Did you know there are different types and different qualities of cinnamon out there? Do your research and see which one works best for you. I buy mine in bulk and then I put it into a different container to use. This is an old nut container. I don't have any cardamom, but I do have ginger. So we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of that. I love ginger. Ooh, it's one of my favorites, especially in beverages. I almost always put ginger in my kombucha. I also need 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. And 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. All seasonings I love. And then it calls for just a pinch of salt. Let's give this a quick mix. With the liquid of the vanilla bean, it's going to get a little bit clumpy, so I definitely want to make sure we try to work all that out before we add anything else. Oh, that nutmeg smells so divine. So excited about this. Next, I have some walnuts that I have toasted. I'm going to go ahead and put those right here in my chopper. You're going to want about 1/2 cup of these, the end product. But to me, nuts are another thing that you just measure with your heart, right? You either like them or love them or hate them. I'm going to go ahead and coat this with 1/2 cup, which is another full stick of butter. And as a thickener, we need to add 1 cup of flour. I'm just using regular all-purpose flour today. Now the directions there said to add the flour last, but I almost added it before I put the butter in, and now I kind of wish I would have. But maybe they do this so that you can see the white flour and make sure you get it all mixed in, because that's another thing. Nobody wants a bite of flour. So make sure whatever you do, you incorporate this and mix it up really well. And now with my clean hands, I'm just going to start sprinkling this streusel over the top. Trying to break it up and not have too much in one spot. Don't forget the edges. Toasting the walnuts just brings out the natural oils and just gives another depth of flavor to this. You don't have to. And if you don't like walnuts and you're like me and pecan's your favorite, you absolutely could sub it out. But to me, nothing goes better with banana than walnuts. Now this is going to go in the oven for 40 minutes or until the toothpick comes out clear in the center. Comes out in the center without any dough on it. So we are going to put this in the oven, 350 degrees, for about 40 minutes. So I baked it 20 minutes, and then I turned the pan around and baked it the other 20 minutes. And then we went ahead and served it with scrambled eggs and bacon. So glad you could come along with me as we prepared for Sunday brunch. This banana coffee cake is amazing. I hope you try it.